Welcome to the 2024 FCOE Honors. I'm Mary Ellen Galvan, Executive Director of the Foundation at FCOE. Every year, we gather here at the historic Old Administration Building Auditorium at Fresno City College to honor 4 extraordinary community stewards whose contributions to education in the areas of agriculture, academics, the arts, and athletics have had a lasting impact on Fresno County students. It's my pleasure to present tonight's encore presentation honoring these 4 outstanding individuals. Let the honors begin.
When I was 19 years old, my second semester in the United States, I get car crash. Someone hit me on head on, and 2 of my friends killed, and I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. I have a broken bone, broken leg, and a forehead crack. But the thing is, I was blessed that I'm still healthy, and then I think that instant can change everything. So now, since I'm blessed to have this opportunity to live, so I guess I can do my share to help.
He's making such a difference in the Central Valley. He's so reliable. He's so dedicated. I think he thinks about how he can help the community 24/7.
I was born in Malaysia and grew up in a middle-income family, and my parents have a choice to choose, send me to go to Chinese school or national school, which is national school will teach English. I have 1 brother and 1 sister. I'm the oldest in the family, and my brother and I graduated from Fresno State, but he decided to go home, and I decided to stay in here for almost 40 years. Suji is a charity organization that was founded in Taiwan. It's founded by Buddhist nun. Now, almost all the continents in the world, we have a chapter. And we started with charity. Then we have 8 hospitals overseas and 2 universities.
I start volunteering for the medical mobile mission. It's back in 2001. And that's when we have our first event at the Fresno Boys and Girls Club. At the beginning, you could see this young gentleman, running back and forth, trying to make sure that everybody is doing the best they can, try to help the event that we're offering at that time. So you could tell, he had the determination, and with his talent and the past experiences, he started sharing the other chapters in the Central Valley to do more outreach, like in Modesto, Stockton, and Sacramento.
Now we have one of the most successful program in the nation. For Fresno have the medical mission. We can do big event. Used to be we do a Healthy Fresno. We have 50 dental chair in the room. Every half hour we turn around 50 patients with medical dental care. Our clientele basically is low income and uninsured patient. The big picture is everyone gets served, and also another thing, the key is to educate our volunteer how to give.
Well, I had been looking to do volunteer work locally in the community. At the staff meeting at St. Agnes Hospital, where I used to work, they told us that there was going to be this health fair. And as soon as I walked in the door, I was just blown away by the setup, the organization, how smoothly everything went, how huge the event was. So in the Central Valley, we do vision, we do medical, we do dental clinics. Plus, we respond to disasters. We responded to the Paradise fires and to the Creek fires.
See to Success is a partner with a lot of collaboration like Carviva, School District, Fresno Unified, all those things. We sit down together and say, how we could use this mobile to fully utilize it. When I designed this mobile, the first mobile vision, our founder say, how long do you have the children had to wait for the glasses? Before that, before we design the mobile, we have our outreach, we have vision. We should send the lab, come back 1 week. The founder said, no, it's not acceptable for 1 week, because if a patient come to you, you need to solve their problem right away. That's the reason we added our lab in there to make sure the patient come in, they get a pair of glasses right away.
I've seen mothers cry when they've, when their children get glasses because either they couldn't afford it or they couldn't get an appointment. And for them to see their child smiling from ear to ear with their glasses on, parents, I've seen mothers cry and say, thank you so much.
I wish one day we have all our mobile, enough people to one day go out with 4 mobile running around and more help. Sometimes we get 2 mobile going out same day, but I wish I can do more on that because the needs are still there. The needs are still there.
His action create a legacy that inspired others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more of themselves.
It's a big honor. It's a big honor, especially as an education entity that recognizes especially the work that we do. And of course, not only myself earned this award, it's the whole team that behind me that earned this award. Without them, I wouldn't able to do much. I always believe that I'm not a born with rich, have silver spoon, but I have my 2 hands and my brain to work, help people. So I feel I should help and am blessed to get this opportunity.
The numbers of students that came through this particular system, the number of courses that I offered, all different kinds of dance and theater. We had music teachers, we had visual art teachers. It was just wonderful to walk down this hallway and look in each window and see something wonderful happening in that room that was different from what was happening in the room next door. Well, I was born in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and my mother was one of 6. And of those 6, my mother's sister was a dancer. And so she gave all of her nieces and nephews free dancing lessons. So my push was to try to work as hard as I could to excel in that particular area. And so it was just my main focus from the age 2 all the way up to the University of Massachusetts, where I was a choreographer for their modern dance concerts, on to the University of Texas, where I studied under Igor Yushkevich, the famous Russian ballet teacher, and was in his ballets, on to the Austin Ballet. By that time, I had then decided I wanted teaching credentials. So when I came here, what I did was I applied for a job in Clovis Unified, and then I applied for a job at Fresno City College, where I was then teaching modern dance. And I opened up a class for adults that my students then could also not only study at City, but could also get extra coaching and extra training. And that's kind of how Cynthia Merrill School of Performing Arts started.
Cynthia was my first employer. She let me come to the house and barter for classes so I could take more. I wasn't even that great a dancer either. Was not the best ballerina. That's not the point. Cynthia Merrill's was never a competitive dance studio. It was about entertainment, it was about expression.
It was artistic bound, self-expression bound.
I feel like it was such a benefit to the community to have a space like that where kids of all ages and all levels could jump in together, and even with some adults sometimes in the plays and things like that.
I was including movement and dance into teaching, whether it was music, musical terms, whether it was vocabulary, whether it's letter sounds, whether it was stuffed animals moving like animals, whatever it was, you could teach it through movement.
To create an actual learning experience, and one then you also get to move your body and not just sit in a chair at a desk all day, is so impactful. So if Cynthia hadn't taken her classes to school, that's what those kids would have been. They would have been sitting in a class all day, not getting to move, not getting to have arts classes, not getting to express themselves creativity and find other routes.
I came from the East Coast. There were expectations with our growing up about how you interact. You send thank you notes. You talk to people. You don't just walk into a room and ignore them. The program consisted of teaching children basic ballroom dance steps, social dance steps. But more than anything, it was teaching children to be respectful to one another.
For her, the cotillion was an even playing field again for all the students, and she would take anyone from any walk of life and give them basic social skills. And it wasn't about the prom or the 16-year-old coming out or any of that kind of thing. It was just, can you walk across the room, say, hi, my name is Joe, and shake hands with somebody.
I work for Google up in the Bay Area at their headquarters, and when I interviewed with them, I was keenly aware about, I not only wanted to present outwardly who I am professionally and creatively, but also wanted to make sure that I was being as polite as possible. I think everything that I know about being a good interview candidate, about being a good employee, comes directly from those lessons from Cynthia. I get such high praise for my diligence in thank you notes.
To have received a business award and an Outstanding Woman in Business award were very meaningful to me. The Cynthia Merrill School of Performing Arts, I was running the school, directing, artistic director, manager, and so forth for 36 years. And then once I sold this particular school, I continued on with my cotillion program for another 10 years.
I think sometimes with the accolades, sometimes I feel like it's not enough because I'm not sure that everyone does realize the impact that she's had and the lives and the generations now of people that were affected by just her simple kindness or her simple direction.
To be recognized at my age, right at the moment, right at the end of a career or even beyond the end of a career, that they're seeing what I did accomplish and then hoping that others will be able to imitate and emulate what I had done.
She saw in me something I couldn't do. A piece I let go of, and a piece that I never thought I would get to do. And it seems kind of funny and it seems kind of silly because it seems like it's on such a small scale, but it was huge, huge for me.
So I would like to be remembered for someone who was very passionate about what she was teaching, about education, the ability to have the drive to go beyond high school and challenge their brains and challenge their minds and explore all different avenues of academics to find something that they were passionate about. I've been here a long time in this valley, doing exactly what I love to do. And I loved what I was doing. You wouldn't do everything I did if you didn't love it.
All-new 1010 with 35 horsepower. Well, what do you know?
62 years is a pretty good track record for, a family business. You hear about, sometimes by the third generation, it's all gone. Well, I don't think that'll be the case here. There's nothing like the draw of a family business that is successful, that is, something that you enjoy and that you're proud of. And that's certainly what motivated me at the time and continues to motivate me. I was brought up in Salinas, California, and My father worked at the local John Deere dealer and was given an opportunity to buy into a new dealership here in Fresno, John Deere dealership. I went on to college at UCLA. I think with the understanding that I'd probably always come back. The family business was always waiting, and indeed that's what I did.
So I think that my grandfather would be really proud of what my mother's done in the ag community. I know that so many people respected him and liked him so much, and all the same people seem to really feel the same way about her.
When she took over as head of Fresno Equipment Company, she was the first woman in the U.S. to be the sole owner of a John Deere dealership.
John Deere is an elite product, and she's been the John Deere dealer since 1961. When you come to work for a professional company like hers, you get that investment and that respect.
It was in 2010 that John Deere actually decided to inform me that I was the only woman sole owner of a John Deere dealership. To tell you the truth, I haven't noticed that it's made a bit of difference or certainly affected me in any way.
That speaks to her talents. That speaks for her passion for her father's company. And it speaks to her being a role model to other women, to other men, and to multiple generations.
Most of our customers are individual farm operations, and then from there we go into the large corporate farming operations, and up to 30,000 acres of diversified crops.
Her father was known to build his business on a handshake and trust, and that's a philosophy that she continues today. The farmers that work with her and with her team would tell you the same thing.
There was a time when the farmer would just reach out, look at the dirt, and decide whether it was time to irrigate or not. Those times are over. We have precise probes so you don't waste anything.
She's very committed to educating the technicians, making sure everybody's knows as equipment gets more evolved and smarter, that the employees are kept up with the times. Ag education is important to Marcia because that's our future.
In the past 10 years, most of our student interns have come from Reedley College. It's a community college with a diesel mechanics program within the college. Secondly, it would be Fresno State, where we've had at least half a dozen student interns from Fresno State, whether it be business, ag business, or other parts of the Jordan College.
I first met Marcia Vukovic about 20 years ago. She joined the Ag 1 board, where she served for 6 years, and that included being president of the board for one of those years. One of the permanent funds under the Ag 1 umbrella is a scholarship fund that Marcia established in honor of her father, Mark, who started Fresno Equipment Company in about 1960. That fund provides scholarships to students majoring in agriculture today. She has given of her time, her talent, and her treasure. In addition to scholarship support, she has also given equipment, a tractor or two, that is used on the 1,000-acre campus farm laboratory.
Marcia's always looking for opportunities to show her appreciations for her employees, families, the farmers, and the community itself.
We're not going anywhere. We are members of the Fresno community, so whether it be the hospitals or an ag program or Fresno State's Ag 1 Foundation, we support a variety of charitable foundations and institutions. It's just a way of letting the community know we're there for you, and Fresno means a great deal to us and the community, and students are our future, and so we'd like to give back.
So for her, being honored for what she's doing to support education, for lifting the valley, I know speaks to her heart and to her passion about higher education and education at all levels, because that's what changes our region.
I'm honored and I'm flattered, and I like to think that there's obviously a lot of individuals that can be chosen for these recognitions, and I'm always just flattered, and it provides an opportunity to get to know those organizations even more intimately, get more involved if you choose to, and get to know the people associated with them.
The sun had set twice on the city of Rome, and still they ran.
My dream of wanting to be an athlete started in 1960 when I was watching some ABC Wide World of Sports. Rayford Johnson and C.K. Ying was competing in the decathlon.
The first day's competition lasted far into the night.
He said something that caught my attention. He said, these two athletes are competing in the Olympics, and what they are about to accomplish will put their names in history, and they will be remembered forever. And boy, I sat there and thought about that. I was born in a little town called Marianna, Arkansas, and grew there for 10 years before my mom moved the family out to Fresno. I went to West Fresno Elementary. At that time, it was called Fresno Colony Elementary School, and then Ivy Junior High. I was always in Washington Union School District.
Well, I met Maxie when we were in the 5th grade at Fresno Colony. As far as I can remember, like in junior high, Maxie ran track, and he just liked sports.
I came out for Washington Union, and my first goal was just to be on the team. You know, that's the whole thing. I said, I just want to make the team. I came out, I made the team, and Coach John Pearson, who was my high school coach, he asked us, he said, okay, why are you out here? I said, one day I want to be in the Olympics. I said, I want to be in the Olympics one day. You know, I'm a freshman in high school, and my teammates, I chuckled and stuff like that.
We all knew he was good in track in high school, and then he always tried to bring the other fellows along. Between high school and city college, he would like push me. You know, I was a lineman, so he would push me to run faster, trying to get my time down.
Fresno City College prepared me in the manner of, my teammates relied upon me. My coach relied upon me. My coach trusted me. And I was able to accomplish quite a bit. I was junior college state champion in the 400 meters.
Mac was the type of a brother that he believed that there was nothing he could not achieve. He believed in himself. He believed in his accomplishments.
In my first year at UCLA, we were down in Bakersfield running in the AAU championship. And I qualified 4th in the finals of the AAU championship my first year at UCLA. Therefore, it qualified me to travel on the USA team that went to Germany, Italy, Russia, and one of the African countries. That was one of the greatest blessings that I could get from all of my sports activity, all of my sports experiences, is God blessed me to see the world.
He took our mom's opinion very seriously. So he would always, you know, talk to her, asking her a question in terms of his career and in terms of sports, and she always encouraged him to, you know, to pursue his dreams, and that he was going to be there. He going to make it.
I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm in the finals. I said, I'm nervous. She said, well, that's all right. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I went out and I won the race. I beat all of the competitors in the Olympic trials. I won the race. I got the #1 seed, you know, and that's how I made the Olympic team.
I remember the day of the Olympics, he was praying that, you know, that everything would work out for him. And he said that when our mom kissed him on the forehead, she wasn't there, but he said she kissed him on the forehead. And he knew then that he was gonna win.
Having her in my corner, having her and knowing that she supported me the way that she supported me and backed me the way that she backed me, it means the world. Now there's one other woman that I got to give credit to too. That's my soulmate, my wife. My wife and I go back to high school. When the gold medal in the 4x400 meter relay, my relay team, we was head and shoulders above the world in terms of quality of talent. I had three of the greatest 400 meter runners in front of me. I was blessed.
For the family, there was excitement. It was, you know, I mean, it was like, our brother got a medal. Our brother got gold, you know, he got to go. The family, and I think the city as a whole that knew of him was very, very excited.
There are conflicting reports out of Afghanistan.
We got the word that the United States wasn't going to participate in the Moscow Olympics, that because of the invasion of Afghanistan and the Soviets going into Afghanistan.
That just like shattered his dream when they said that the United States were going to boycott the 1980 Olympics, because he was ready for that second time of making that another gold medal.
It made it an empty, hollow 4 years.
I see him as the perfect leader, the perfect, inspiration for any young man, for young girl, for the community.
This is a responsibility for any person who has been blessed like I was, and we have plenty of them. In this West Fresno community, I think we all are obligated to help the youth come through and give them vision and hope to be able to know that they can accomplish the exact same thing that we were able to accomplish. And that's why I come out to Washington Union, and it's going to give as much information to the team and to the athlete.
I don't think he feels like he can give enough. He's always eager to help whoever that he can help.
It is a great honor to receive this award and recognition, because I'm a county school participant. Washington Union is in that county district, and as Fresno, West Fresno or Fresno Colony and Ivy Junior High, I traveled through all of those school systems, and for the county to consider me this year as one of the recipients, I'm highly honored. I always wanted to leave a mark, be a standard basically for my siblings and my family and those who coming up behind me. So that was my drive, is to leave a mark.
What inspiring stories. They truly represent the best in our community, and we hope you were uplifted and inspired. On behalf of the Foundation Board of Directors, I'd like to thank founding sponsor Educational Employees Credit Union, presenting sponsors Chevron, Valley Children's Healthcare, and Prodigy Healthcare. To learn more about how you can make an impact on the education of Fresno County students through the Foundation at FCOE, please visit our website at fcoefoundation.org or call 559-497-3770. Thank you for watching.